Morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the morning debrief. It's currently the 25th of October. Current time is 8:18, and Dow had a good night. Continued optimism. Caterpillar had a positive report, and the market's certainly feeling that what's going to happen in the in Europe will certainly placate the markets. As you can see, the Dow's up 0.89%, 11,913. The S&P's up 1.29%, the Nasdaq was up 2.35%. So that's pretty much across the board, and Europe also had a strong night. Dollar was down, commodities were up, and gold and oil, particularly West Texas, had a very strong night last night. It is interesting to note, though, that you've got Merkel versus Sarkozy, Merkel and Sarkozy versus Berlusconi, and Merkel and Sarkozy against Cameron. So let's see what happens, but obviously tomorrow evening we will get some indication. It is also interesting that we actually feel that the IMF will get involved somewhere along the line. As a result of that, it will be our taxpayers' tax, which will be obviously helping to shore up the concern. It is interesting to note that Europe makes up 21% of the global economy, so obviously if a contagion does occur there, it will affect us all. So obviously everyone's looking for some resolution. The key for us will be the size of the resolution, the size of the package, and really how it will be implemented. So it might take some time, but still we just want those steps, and which hopefully will be the right steps. Okay, let's have a look at the market now. And the Dow, as we've mentioned, the S&P all strong. The top 50 in Europe was up 1.35%. FTSE was up 1.08. CAC was up 1.55. And the DAX was up 1.41, pretty strong there. The local market. Okay, let's just have a look at the commodities markets. Oh, sorry, the local market first, our local market. And a little bit, there we go, that's a bit better. Local market had a strong night as well, as you'd probably anticipate, up 32 points at 4,281. So that in itself, I think, is not too bad. Certainly the closes overnight were pretty positive, and that should bode well for the market this morning, and obviously anticipated for prices to continue to trade higher, we anticipate. Okay, looking at the commodities across the board, crude had a good strong night. Brent was up 1.58. West Texas was up by nearly 5%, very strong. Broke through that 90 area, which is that resistance we talked about, and now that we've broken through that, chances are that certainly there's optimism it can continue. Note that West Texas Brent crude spread has come down 19 3/4. I probably expect that to continue back down to around about that $12. It's a trade that we've looked at for some time, and I think all the fundamentals have lined up for that spread to come in, so that's not a bad trade. Okay, agricultural markets across the board were pretty good, and when you just go through the main ones there, corn was up 0.27%. Wheat was up 1.66%, soybeans up 1.19%. Rough rice, strong night, nearly up 3% on the concerns of the floods we're seeing in Vietnam at 17.21. Copper, strong night, up 7 3/4, and that's at 345.95. A break through this 347 sets the trend higher, but at the moment we've still got concerns in China. But obviously with the manufacturing data we had out last night, the market is saying, well, look, things are not too bad there. Gold, strong night, up $19 at 16.55. Remember, we do have the Indian Festival of Diwali currently going through. Yesterday was the most auspicious day to buy gold, so we might have seen a bit of lift there. Remember, demand for gold remains very robust. Silver up 1.71% at 31.72. Quite strong on that front. Okay, let's just have a look at some of the markets here. I guess you can see there's a strong move in copper. Good resistance up around at 347, so we need to see that broken in order for it to continue to trade higher. Gold, 16.52, and I think at the moment there, if it takes out that 16.62, then we should get a good chance at 1700, so quite good there. Dollar index, 76.30, still under pressure, as you probably appreciate, given that there is a certain level of optimism in Europe, and as you can see there, that's certainly helping those dollar-denoted commodities. So that, I think, doesn't look too bad. Okay, having a look at the local market, 4,281. Just looking at that hourly chart, doesn't look too bad. If it does take out these highs of 4,310, chances are she does trade higher. But use that 4,300 as a bifurcation point for the market. That to me is quite important. So we might see a lift above it. As to whether or not it stays up at that level is another thing, but it certainly is a very important level. Righty-ho, let's have a quick look at now the calendar, what we're expecting. And as you can see here, looking today, you've got producer prices in Australia. You've got PMI in Europe, industrial orders in Europe, which are quite important. And really, that's probably about it. But I think you'll find that the market will primarily just focus on what happens in Europe. And I think that, to me, is where we're at the moment. So I expect that optimism to continue, expect markets to remain relatively firm, and let's see what we get out of Europe in terms of how that'll placate the market. It could be a buy the rumour, sell the fact. Let's just see how it unfolds. Well, that's it from me. Happy trading. We'll talk to you later.